The racers went 1 through 4 last time.
Yeah.
The order is irrelevant. Kenny on top, then people.
Yeah.
So I know it sounds bad, but like with Kenny on top, and then there was folk. So do we expect any of these challengers, Andre specifically, to well, him and Akeem, because Akeem, if he can give the times that he gave on in Jamaica,
Yeah.
if that guy comes back, Diamond League final, Akeem played again.
Yeah.
Hey, respect to you, because I don't count him out anymore.
Gabby Thomas is actually going to win this whole thing. I think just on average. All right. So Gabby Thomas, no one's touching Gabby Thomas in that 200. Like,
I'm
shout out
sure.
to, in my pick, Gabby Thomas in the 200. I don't think anyone in this field is. I don't think Gabby Thomas is going to be touched, especially considering what we just saw her do in the 400 at Grand Slam. Now, she didn't run as fast in the 200 there, but it was windy. It was first race. Yeah, she didn't have to, and she dominated. I think that Gabby is going to win the 200, and then she'll finish high enough in the 100 where I think she'll get the overall win.
When you said who could touch her, Brittany Brown Atlos. Remember that?
I know, I know, I know.
You were there. You were there live.
Yeah, it's true. I know, but
we're talking about the women's long hurdles, but we're really talking about Sydney. So, do I have to ask you who your pick is?
Pick for second place? Because like you said, it's Sydney. Like Sydney, okay. It's Sydney. That's who we're talking about. All, as I always say, all due respect to the rest of the field, but come on.
Grand Slam track Miami is upon us. And we've been waiting, because when slams go down, you got to wait a few weeks, really the better part of a month, before you even get much info about what's about to happen. But we've been waiting for what's about to happen, and the stage is set. And now we know who's coming to the line. So in the men's short sprints, the racers are coming back, but we have a brand new set of challengers. For the most part, one guy is returning. So I gotta ask before I even get into the names, what are you expecting to see? Because I think this is going to be a good one.
Yeah, this one is going to be good, especially from what we saw in Kingston and kind of what we saw in between. I think this is going to be good because you got all the racers returning: Kenny B, Fred Curley, Oblique Seville, Zarnell Hughes. But then you have like Akeem Blake. He's coming back. You got Andre DeGrasse, and a lot of these guys are looking good. Now I'm excited because we spoke about someone like Fred Curley, where he didn't do well in that 100 at Grand Slam track, and then he kind of like turned it back on for the 200. I think he's going to do very well here, but then there's also the fact that Kenny B is like, I don't know if anyone's actually going to beat Kenny B. So I'm kind of looking to see how Kenny and Fred do, along with someone like Akeem Blake, who he kind of turned up in between Kingston and Miami. He ran like 996 in the 100. So he's probably like, okay, I didn't do great at the Kingston Grand Slam track, but I want to show up in Miami. I really want to put a foot down. But Fred Curley is the one that I'm kind of really keeping an eye out for. I feel like he's really going to do some damage here.
I expect Fred to win one of the slams, but I feel like he has to win the 100 to do it.
Mm.
I don't see how he can not win the one and win the entire slam. So as a result, and a lot of that's the Kenny effect. And I'm going to keep saying it. Like, okay, let's back up. We did this last time. We'll do it again. Who's going to win the 200?
I mean, it's Kenny B. Kenny, there's no one stopping. There's no one stopping. Kenny
so
B,
12,
man.
because now we're getting used to the scoring system. So if those 12 points are on the board, and I mean, okay, let's go through the whole field. Just for everybody, again, comment section, this is who we're looking at. I mean, we know who the races are, right? So it's the 4 names we have: Fred Curley,
Fred Curley, Kenny B, Zarnell Hughes, and Oblique Seville. That's the 4 racers. Yep.
And now we're bringing, and I'm gonna say it this way, because we're bringing half of Canada's 4x1. We're bringing. Am I wrong?
It's true. That's actually true.
We're bringing Andre DeGrasse, and we're bringing Jerome Blake, who is probably the least known name on that relay, because he's the one that was the player to be named later from 2021. Like they slid him in there, and then from that point, he's been on that relay. Took over for, I don't know, maybe it was Justin Warner. I don't know.
Yeah, somebody back then.
But regardless, didn't Jerome Blake win? Was it Bermuda or was it Miramar? He won one of those. I think it was Bermuda.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, a couple
Bermuda Grand Prix.
Grand Prix. That was either last year or the year before, something like that. Yeah.
It was like, was it 22 or 2023?
it might have been 2 or 3 years ago then. Yeah, but there was one. You're right. He
Because
did
every
win.
Knighton within that 100, because I just looked at the footage not long ago, and Noah Lyles
Ah,
within that 100, and
that's
Jerome
true.
Blake got the victory. It was like a crazy, like they were running into a negative headwind, so all like the times weren't electric, but he
We're
got the
like
victory.
slow. Yeah, that's a good
So,
point. Hmm.
so I say that with all due respect, where his PRs don't talk. I'm just being real. They don't. They're not going to scream at you. And Jerome Blake would never be in the 4x1 pool if he were American. And when I say never, I mean never. Probably wouldn't even have been on a world relay team. But all that being said, he's Canadian. So he's on that. He that win in Bermuda is all I've got to go off of. That's what I'm trying to say. It's the only thing I got. It's that one win. But aside from that, and Benjamin Richardson, I'm sorry, that's the name we left out.
Yeah, Benjamin Richardson
Because
from South Africa. He's
because
run
Akeem
nine
Blake, we
eight.
already said him.
Yeah, we already Akeem Blake is back. Benjamin Richardson, he's kind of interesting wild card. He's run 9.89. He made the semis at the Olympics last
He
year.
got
So
injured
he has
though, right?
some he got injured at some point. So yeah, he didn't I don't think he ran on the 4x1 for South
Yeah.
Africa.
Maybe that's
Yes.
how Walaza got that spot.
That's true. So, he's a little wild card in here, but I think we could probably agree Jerome, Benjamin, not the top, they're not like I'm not putting them
No,
like in my conversation in the top. Yeah.
no. I think okay, let's ask this. The Racers went 1 through 4 last time.
Yeah.
The order is irrelevant. Kenny on top, then people.
Yeah.
So I know it sounds bad, but like with Kenny on top, and then there was folk. So do we expect any of these challengers, Andre specifically, to I mean, well, him and Akeem, because Akeem, if he can give the times that he gave on in Jamaica,
Yeah.
because he went 20.2 in the 200,
Yeah.
now 19.9 in the 100. If that comes back, that guy, whoever that guy was, if that guy comes back, Diamond League final, Akeem Blake, again,
Yeah.
hey, respect to you because I don't count him out anymore after
Yeah.
that. But Andre is the name that I'm drawn to, and I'm sure most people are.
Yeah. I think Akeem, so in the 100, I think Akeem will actually probably make noise. I feel like he can actually, split up this group where it's like he might be able to beat Zarnell or Oblique in here. I'm not sure if he's going to be able to beat Kenny or Fred, but I think he can kind of like maybe finish in third place after Kenny and Fred, whatever order. But in the 200, that's where Andre, I think he'll have the best shot. Of course, Andre has medals at both the 200 and 100, but as he's gotten like more, years go on in his career, I'm more confident in his ability in the 200, especially amongst this field, because I'm not confident in like Oblique or Akeem beating out Andre in the 200.
That's fair.
So, yeah, yeah.
Well, how well was Jarnell second at the first 200?
Yeah, he was in Kingston. He was second.
But it
So
was him and Fred were close.
him and Fred were well. It was Fambule, right? Because oh no, you're
Palmer
right.
was
It was
fourth.
Fred. That's true. Okay, so it's Fred. So okay, so what do you think about Fred? Right. So he didn't
Okay.
like he didn't that Kingston the 100. Honestly, it wasn't great. Came back for the two, got third. In between there, he's only run the 400 where he ran 44.7 like last weekend. I don't know. What do you think? Where do you think he'll finish? Can he beat Kenny in the 100? And then can he finish
I
second in the
mean,
200?
when
I
we
don't know.
ask, can he I mean, like, okay, you're not asking me whether he has the talent. We know that's not the discussion, right?
Yeah, yeah. He has a talent.
Okay. Are we asking, is he going to do it in the first week of May? Is that what we're asking?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, this is it. This is Miami. Like this is it.
I mean,
he
'cause- you see, I'm saying like there's multiple, okay, because like there's multiple ways to ask the question, but let's be, okay, I want to be as straight up as possible. Yes, I'm still gonna, if gun to my head or whatever, like, yes, I'm still taking Fred for now. And I'm still,
Mm,
because I just believe he's the best 100-meter runner in this field, not just because of the PR, but because I remember the 2022 season.
mm,
I remember it. I remember the 2021 season
yeah.
before it, and I remember 2024 when everything was going left. Like I'm big, keep it real. Everything went left for Fred, and he still got a medal.
Yeah.
And that's when I was like, you know what? Maybe we shouldn't just maybe don't bet against him is what I'm trying to say.
Mm.
Like it may not be pretty, but he gets the job done. I can't think of like an athletic comp right now that's easy for me to reach to. Maybe it's like a Ron Artest, where it's like,
Mm.
or change his name, Meta World Peace. Like he was an all-star, one of the greatest defenders of all time. And it wasn't pretty, but he got the job done.
True.
And it's like there would be nights where he might be getting 20 points, and you'd be like, I don't really know how he got 20 points. I don't know how it happened. Because he couldn't shoot. Like not the way you expect somebody in the league to shoot. And like he couldn't handle the way a small forward was supposed to handle. But like
True.
he got the job done. And at the end of the day, it's like, yo, he on the all-star team again. So like Fred has been like that to me where it's like, I don't really know how it'd be happening. Like you be breaking stuff down and looking at footage and all that, but like it don't matter. So it's like just stop betting against them. So it's like that first race, that first meet, I'm not tossing it out. It's just I think this is what we said last time, and you tell me if you
Mm.
agree with this kind of how you see it. Kenny is the most consistent sprinter I think in the game right now of that upper echelon. I feel
Agreed.
like for whatever the reason, he's able to be like, this is my level, and I'm going to perform at my level. I'm going to stay at that level, and I'm going to dare you to come get me. And he's been trying to raise his level year to year. However, for whatever the reason, there always seems to be one more guy who can just get that little edge at the moment when the rest of the world is watching. So, but this ain't that. This is slams.
Mm.
And it's like he just operates on that frequency. So what we're asking a lot for anybody to be at that level, especially since he decided that he wants to run the 100 and take it seriously.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the thing. That's the thing. I'm really like teetering, but I feel like Fred will take the 100 here ahead of Kenny. Because even with Kenny, it was close with him and Oblique Seville. He only
Yeah.
won that race by a hundredth of a second. But like
Mhm.
you said, that consistency is there. So I I don't know.
But you said Oblique's name because we didn't. Let's go through the other
That's
races
true.
then.
True, true, true.
If we review, who do you think had the best Grand Slam Jamaica between them, Oblique or Jarnell?
I mean, I think Zarnell did because Zarnell he finished third in the 100 actually between behind Kenny and Oblique, and then he finished second in the 200. But Oblique is another one where I think he felt a little bit of like, man, like I lost in that 200. Like I lost kind of not bad per se, but he finished down the pack and he doesn't want to be looked at. If he's going to compete in Grand Slam track, he has to realize like, yo, I have to be better. I have to be good at both events. There's no way I'm going to keep coming to Grand Slams and keep finishing down the pack, especially in that 200. So I feel like that might have given him a little motivation over the past few weeks going into Miami now, right? That's what I'm thinking. But I don't know where that actually ends up. Where does that land for
Well,
him?
can Oblique win a slam without winning the 100?
No, because he's never going all due respect,
Is
he's
there
never going to win the
anybody
200.
here who could win the slam without winning the 100 besides
No.
Kenny?
The, the
He's the
thing
only
is,
one who I think could lose the 100, get third, and the point scores could still fall in his favor.
yeah,
He just has to go
if
top three in the 100 to win the slam because the 200, if Jarnell was third in the 100,
in
let's
the
just
100,
use
yeah.
this math. Let's say Kenny somehow slide him down the fourth, like or not, or like take him out of the first spot and like move him to third, like rearrange
Yeah,
him
yeah.
on the point scores. Okay, that means Jarnell would have been second in the 100
He got second in the 100.
and
Yeah,
second
yeah,
in the
exactly.
200.
So
Kenny still would have
then
won
Kenny would have won. That and
still.
that's the problem. That's the problem. Kenny is just too good in the 200 where the only person I could actually see winning a slam without winning the 100 is possibly Fred Curley because like we said, he has the talent to. But now execution wise, I like I can't
Do
actually
you
see
think he's
him.
gonna? I don't think Fred's ever beaten Kenny in these twos. I don't see
I
that.
mean, yeah, probably not. Probably not.
I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not going to pull it up right now, but I'm willing to bet if I look at Kenny's 200-meter report from last year, because I
No.
remember
Can
Prefontaine, and I remember there was a
no.
race before then, right?
Yeah, Kenny ran he was running 19.5 actually in like May of last year and he carried that through the entire season like all the way to the Olympic Games. So like that's why we say like we can't bet against Kenny. So yes, no one could win the 100, but I and they have to some everyone has to win the 100 to be able to try and win the slam. But I think Oblique in this looking forward to Miami, I feel like Oblique has a little bit of like, okay, I kind of got a little embarrassed in the 200. I need to win, and I got so close to winning the 100. Let me actually try and disrupt. Maybe let me try and like put my foot down and say, let me win this 100 because he has the talent too. He really has the talent, but I don't know if it'll play out in execution.
Jarnell Hughes right now, then, since we haven't said it much about him, I'm starting to feel about him the way I do about Daryl Nita, where it's almost
Ooh,
like it doesn't really matter where what's happening with the field. I feel like he's just going to end up in third and fourth. That's how I'm starting to
ooh,
feel. No, I could be wrong. I could be wrong. But like that's
yeah.
how I'm starting to feel because it goes back to, hmm, yeah, I want to see what the streets have to say about this. Comment section, holla at me. I feel like we've spent so much time talking about clocks over the course of the past few years because athletes are afraid to race each other. But now I'm going to ask a serious question. Jarnell Hughes got third in a world championship in the 100, right?
100, yep.
Has he done anything that was more than that aside from European championship stuff? That's it, right? Individually, that's the most we've seen out of him.
That's the most. He made the Olympic final in 2021. That was when he false started, but that's unfortunately it. And maybe he's made
Mm,
like another world final, but that's the
okay.
best of Zarnell.
So that means Jarnell Hughes, his mystique is about the clock when no one
Mm,
else was there.
mm.
Am I missing something? That means that's where a lot of that rep starts coming from then. It's not so much about racing. And I think the future of track, if the sport is ever going to thrive, which I believe Grand Slam track has their finger on the pulse of, but needs to now almost show the world this is what you wanted. We want to see people compete. Remember, I'll say it again for the people in the back.
Hmm.
The high school kids race. That's what they do. They race all the time. Try telling a kid when Arcadia was about to drop, you're not gonna run this 200 today. What you mean I ain't running? It's Arcadia. Try being a coach saying, oh, but we saving it for state. What do you mean state? This Arcadia. Runner space right here. We running. Let's go. It's in the name. That's how the kids felt. You can't convince a high school kid who's fast to not run. It's the reason why
Yeah.
Quincy been out here over and over and over and over again. Yes, they're young, but what I'm saying is they are unafraid. They lose a
Yeah.
race. What do? They just strap up and run again.
Yep.
They don't.
Yep.
They did. All right, cool. I'll see you. Yo, when the next time he running? Take me to the meet where he running.
Right.
I'm gonna
Right.
beat him. I'm gonna beat him again. Okay,
Right.
change the distance. I don't care. Let's go. That's how they operate. But I'm saying I get it. That's not pro track per se. But what I am saying is we got to start looking at people as you versus you
Hmm.
rather
Hmm.
than just what do these clocks say. That's the reason why he could prove us wrong. He could prove us wrong. But that's why Benjamin Richardson is not really coming out of our name much, like out of our mouths.
Yeah.
Because when we see him, when I see him, I mean, I'm speaking for you. You tell me if I'm wrong. I see fast clocks
Yeah.
when no one
Yeah.
was there. And then
That's
when people were
yeah.
there, it doesn't really matter how it happened. You just weren't in the front.
That's the unfortunate thing. It's the truth. It's the truth. That's why, yeah,
And it's
we
these same people. Like Kenny was there. Fred was there. Oblique was
right.
there.
All of them.
Like
All of
they were
them.
there.
That's the thing.
And
That's
you
the
weren't
thing.
in. So it's like, I mean, I could be wrong. I don't know what his training's looking like this year. It's just, I feel like I would have heard
It's
something if there was something to hear in terms of
yeah.
like he about to come here and drop a bomb.
Yeah, that's a fact. So it is tough where it's like, yeah, Zarnell, there's been times where he's been in the mix. Like you said, he's gotten a medal at Worlds, the last World Champs, he's gotten the bronze. But like when we're now stacking things up, it's like Kenny has multiple medals, Fred, multiple medals, right? Like Oblique has beaten him multiple times across the board. So it's tough to say, all right, I'm gonna put him high up. But he could do like he did in Kingston, where, he finishes second, third, and finds a way to, you know, finish whatever second overall, but it's tough to say that for Zarnell. But and then now you introduce Andre DeGrasse, who I think in the 200 is probably going to do pretty well. He could beat out a couple guys. He's one who's to me is a true gamer where he may not have the fastest races all the time, but if he's in a competition, he's going to find a way to push for a really good spot. Like I'm almost thinking of him like Joe Fambule in that 200 in Kingston, where Joe, found a way to like
Get to
I don't
fourth,
even know
yeah.
what. Yeah, I don't even know what he did in the 100, but he
Because he
found
was
found
in
a
dead
way.
last coming out that turn.
Yeah. So
Like, but
Andre could
that's
be a
normal for
spoiler
him. I
here.
think he's kind of like, all right, this is just how the races go. In Andre's
Yeah.
case, then let's just pencil him in for second in the 200, just for argument's sake.
Mm.
What's happening in the one though? Does he beat Kenny? Let's go to the names. Does he beat Kenny? No.
No.
Does he beat Fred?
No.
Assuming Fred shows up as Fred? No.
No.
Um, let's just which we're gonna assume. Oblique? No. I trust
No. No.
Oblique in
No.
the
No.
100 on a normal day.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's
Yeah.
three. You're already three down. And then do I realistically think he's beating Akeem Blake right now?
No. If I mean, to me, I don't think so. If we're just looking at what has occurred,
Because he
and I
ran the
can't.
60 indoors. I seen him run it this year,
Yeah. Yeah. He
and
did.
he
He did.
wasn't fast. So
No.
like,
That I can't. I can't.
I'm
And
just
like,
using out of the
he,
benchmark.
it's and recent transactions. It's like Akeem Blake. He was the Diamond League champion last year. I can't take that away from him. So
Okay.
I can't.
I mean, for whoever showed up in that race, but Fred was in that race, and Christian
Fred
Coleman
was in
was in
that
that
race.
race.
Coleman was there. There was guys in that race. So
So, all
you know.
right.
So yeah, I don't know.
So
Andre, he'll be down in the pack in the 100 at least in terms of predictions wise. There.
final call then. What's your podium? Top three, and who's the wild card? We have them in that
So
order. One, two, three. How are they going to finish?
okay. So for me, one, two, three. I'm going Fred, Kenny, and then Akeem Blake, just because of like what I've seen before. And then my wild card is Oblique Seville.
Hmm.
But that's my wild card,
Whew.
just based on
Okay.
what we've seen right now.
You got to take Kenny has to be top two. It's just like, do I think Fred is going to get him this time? You
Yeah.
know what? I'm going to join you, and here's why. I think that for the purpose of the story, for the narrative, for the
Hmm.
movie that I'm shooting in my head, Fred is supposed to win this one.
Yeah.
I mean, for Sprint season three that they didn't bring the cameras for, like Fred is supposed to get it. So I, Fred Kenny in that order. But my third, mm, I'm gonna be I'm going with Jarnell.
Okay. Zarnell third.
I'm penciling him back in there. Like I said,
Ooh.
I keep getting the vibe that he just finds a way to just be right there. And then my wild card, I'm gonna throw Andre in as the wild card. He might, if he can pull fourth in the one, he could
Mm.
go top three overall.
Top the overall.
He
That
just
makes
has to
sense.
pull it. I don't know how he's gonna pull it. I don't know what bag he's getting it from. But I mean, I'm not doubting that there's the chance it could come out of wherever he's got it to come from.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
hey, I don't know what luggage he's bringing, but he might be bringing that in.
That makes sense. Oh, and my bad. I actually thought about it now. I have Kenny winning the whole thing. I was actually thinking the 100. Kenny's winning the whole thing, and then I have Fred second.
Oh,
That's why
okay.
I have.
I
My
got
bad.
Fred winning the whole thing. So we're flipping it then.
Okay, yeah,
Because
no,
I
I
have
have
Fred winning the
Kenny
whole thing on the strength of the 100.
on the. Okay, I have Fred winning the 100, but I don't think he's going to do enough in the two. I'll probably have him like third in the two. I think Kenny is just going to get second in the 100, and then he's going to win the two. So yeah, I have Kenny, Fred, and I still have Akeem, and then Oblique is my wild card.
Okay. Well, I mean, just keep in mind that we're putting a lot of confidence in Kenny's 100 because he won the first one. But the way I'm evaluating his 100 is as follows, that it could be hit or miss because
Mm,
he could realistically get beat by any of those racers in a 100.
true, 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 true.
That's why I don't bet the house there. It's just that he just gets the largest margin for error
Yeah,
because
yeah,
it's like when you set it up where 12 points go for one event, and that's the key of the scoring system in its present structure, it makes it so that you just, as long as you don't bomb, you're probably gonna be right there, if not win.
yeah, yeah,
So for that reason, if we're giving him 12, it's like how many places does he need to fall down? He can't get higher than fourth for anybody to have a real shot at that.
yeah. That's the problem. That's the thing. He's making it real hard for everybody with the way that yeah he makes it hard for anybody to really put up a fight. So
All right, well, hey,
eh,
Grand Slam track of Jamaica is done. Miami, take two and action.
Grand
Yeah.
Slam track, Miami is coming up, and just finished off Kingston where we saw pretty high quality women's short sprints field. But I feel like Miami, the field here is looking like a little bit of a step up. Now someone like Gabby Thomas, she's now in the short sprints, coming down from the long sprints. But you also have a couple other names who are dipping back in. Looks like they're going to make this field very, very competitive. we saw Melissa Jefferson get the overall win for the short sprints last time, but I think with some of these names, this might be even more. This might be tougher to actually pick who's going to come out on top in the short sprints. But what do you think of the overall field on these again these women's short sprints in
I
Miami?
love the field.
Yeah.
I love it. I mean, when I looked at the names, I mean, like everybody there, I understood why they were there.
Mm.
That's the best way I could describe it. Like I totally got it. I was like Kayla White, even like as a challenger, like
Yeah.
for the record, in the comment section, I'm hopping already to the challengers. So, I mean, because the challengers, so people know, are Tamari Davis, Jason
Hmm.
Sears, Favor O'Feely, Kayla White, and the racers. Gabby Thomas is coming down, so she was
Yep.
non-existent. Brittany Brown was out for the last race, and she's back this time. So
Hmm.
1-2, Olympic gold, Olympic bronze in the 200. Then you get Daryl Nita, and then you
Hmm.
get Melissa Jefferson Wooden, who swept the
Yep.
1-2 at the last lane.
Yeah.
But that's the whole field,
Yeah.
challengers and racers. But the challengers, even though the name might not be as popular, I recognize every single one of them. So
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, this field makes sense to me. Where that's why I brought up Kayla White. Like she was at World individually a few years ago, 2023, right? 2023.
2023. Yep. She made
And
the world
she,
team.
yeah, and then Tamari Davis with that World same year,
Same year
2023 in the
in the 100.
100.
Yep.
Favor O'Philly, she was at Olympics and Worlds, for
Yeah.
Nigeria doing
In
her
that
thing.
Olympic
And
final
then
in the two. Yep.
I call her the second fastest woman in college because she was just consistently second fastest to whoever was the fastest woman. It
Yeah, I
was
know.
Abby Steiner, then it was Julian Alfred. It was just like you still second. And then in the word, yeah, it is what it is. And then Jason Sears, who was the fastest woman in college, she just couldn't do it at the championship meet outdoors. But after dropping a bomb in indoors, she was dominating until she got
Yeah.
upset at the championship there. So hey, that's the field. Mm, uh, you tell me
Oof.
right now who's winning the whole thing, and then we'll figure out the rest of it later. If you just got to pick one name to say this is who's gonna get it,
So I think that Gabby Thomas is actually going to win this whole thing. I think just on average. All right, so similar to like we did for the men, no one's touching Gabby Thomas in that 200. Like
I'm
shout out
sure.
to in my pick, Gabby Thomas in the 200. I don't think anyone in this field is like even with some of the extra names between Brittany Brown, between Favor Philly, Tamari, like that are added, I don't think Gabby Thomas is going to be touched, especially considering what we just saw her do in the 400 at Grand Slam. Now she didn't run as fast in the 200 there, but it was windy. It was
She didn't
first
have to.
race. Yeah, she didn't have to, and she dominated. I think that Gabby is going to win the 200, and then she'll finish high enough in the 100 where I think she'll get the overall win. But I don't know. You're not sure? Maybe you disagree?
Well, no. Okay. Two lines of thought. One,
Yeah.
if you're asking me with all my track knowledge, whatever that is, who is in the best shape and who's the most talented, she's both right now. So for that reason, she's probably the safe pick.
Mm.
But when you said who could touch her, Brittany Brown Atlos, remember that?
I know, I know, I
You remember.
know.
You were there. You were there live.
Yeah, it's true. I know,
So
but
for that
that was
reason,
close.
we don't know what form she's in.
That's true. We did
But
see her. She was on Tom Jones. She only ran the relay. She ran the anchor leg on
oh,
one of the relays.
oh
She looked
well.
good. I mean, it's hard to gauge, but
I mean,
she at
hey,
least is healthy.
you know how these Olympic development relays be. You said she looked good. That's like no, hey, that's like Miramar looking good. Running by yourself.
she,
Running
I
by
think it
yourself.
was. I think it was. They had like two other teams. It wasn't
Yeah, it'd
like
be like
packed.
three teams in the section. You know what I mean? Like again, it's an organized practice.
To your
So
point, though, but she has that talent. So I don't
for
know.
that reason, yeah. No, I don't think. Well, let me clarify. Melissa Jefferson Wooden could win the 100 again, very realistically.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So for that reason, now her and Tamari Davis, they went tied like dead to the line last year. Tom Jones, I was there for that, and Tamari got
Mm,
the victory on the thousands.
mm,
So I'm just saying, using that as a benchmark, Tamari could get her. Like, let's assume that they're the two best 100 runners in this field. And I mean, Chase Shears could show me something, but going off of what she did in Jamaica, using that form as an indication of what we're getting here, I would say no. She's not beating them. So again, using that form as an indication. So if that's the case, if I could be wrong. If that is the case, then I'm saying it's Melissa Tamari Davis for the 1-2. Like
Mm.
like who's gonna go first, second in the 100? And that's gonna
Oof.
make a big difference at the point scores.
That's true.
Like, what if
Wow.
Tamari
Okay.
gets it? Let's just say for some reason I'm right. I could be wrong, and it's very possible. But let's just say for some reason she wins it. Now, what did that put Tamari Davis on the rest of it?
Then that's because Tamari is also she's pretty good in it too. She's not like 21 seconds or anything like that, but she actually could finish like let's say hypothetically in the two, we're talking about Gabby and Brittany. Tamari could actually finish third place behind them. Like she has some strength in that 200. So could if she wins the 100, that could set her up well to place really well in the overall. But it will depend on where It'll really depend on where Gabby. Obviously, we spoke about Brittany in the two. Brittany also she was on that 2023 World Championship team in the 100 as well.
Yeah,
So she has a lot of talent. So I think that the 100 is going to be very telling, very, very telling.
very
Where
crucial.
Melissa Jefferson, she won it in Kingston, but she very well could get surpassed by a couple women here. And it's still questionable on what form Brittany Brown is in. Gabby Thomas in the 100, even Favorite Philly, so that 100 is going to be very telling. But it's hard. It's hard for me to pick. It's hard for me to pick in the 100 specifically. Where do you see someone like yeah, where do you see Brittany Brown? Let's say in the 100. Where do you see her kind of finishing there amongst that pack?
Okay, so let's assume I don't. Let's just. Okay, I'm just gonna assume everything like even keel. Like we're not gonna
Hmm.
speculate where they are in their training and all that. Just say everybody met. If this was July, if this was August, what would I say? And let's just assume everybody's roughly gonna be competing on a similar plane in terms of competitively. For that reason, I would now say top three.
Okay, top
Top
three in the
three in the
100.
100. And I mean, she's supposed top. This is one way to look at it. I think she's supposed to be top three in the 100 and top three in the 200.
Hmm.
All things, you know,
Yeah.
even keel. And she just needs to pop in one of them. Like I don't think it's possible to win a slam going second and second
No.
unless the only way
Both.
you could was Gabby would have to like using her as an example would have to like bomb in the 100.
Yeah.
She because here's the thing, looking at the challengers, Kayla White made the world in the 200, not the 100, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Jason Sears runs the 100. Favor Ophelia, she's really a 200 runner at the highest level.
Yeah. Yeah.
So like that's what I'm saying. Like who are the people who keep like if who are the ones who are supposed to beat Gabby in the 100? Tamari Davis,
Well,
you're supposed to beat her.
supposed to be her. Melissa
Jason Sears is
Jefferson,
supposed to beat her.
Jason Sears, even Daryl Nita. Daryl Nita was fourth at the Olympic Games in the 100
Okay.
last. She actually did better in the 100 at the Olympics than in the 200. So technically,
Yeah.
Daryl Nita is supposed to beat Gabby.
Yeah. And you brought up Melissa Jefferson Wooden just now. You said the name.
Yeah, yeah. Like she's, of course, she's, yeah.
So
So,
that's one, two, three, four names that are supposed to beat her.
yeah. I mean,
I mean, she's running.
if,
I mean,
yeah,
she's running. She's prepping for these races. Like she ain't just rolling out there. I mean, you said it
yeah,
yourself. She's running hundreds before
yeah.
she's not just going to show up and be like, "Let's run a hundred today and see how to go." Like
True,
Gabby
true, true.
Thomas realizes that money don't grow on trees.
Yeah. And also say Gabby, she hasn't broken 11 seconds. Her personal best is 11 flat, but at the 2021 Olympic trials, she actually finished fourth place. Well, technically fifth place. This was before Sha'Carri, had her DQ, but she beat out like some top women. If we're talking about competition. So she is one
She runs this
who,
event. Yeah.
yeah, she can do this. She can do this.
Okay. I
So
mean, so it's all
so
toss
who?
up.
So what do you think? Who would be like your top three for the women overall?
Man, this is the hardest one to pick.
This is
This is by
hard.
far of all the events that we about to watch this weekend. It's the hardest one to pick.
Yeah.
So I gotta pick something and I gotta do it now. So this is how we're gonna do it. The names that I'm drawn to. Well,
Mm.
I'm gonna just be that guy. I'm gonna say Brittany Brown, Gabby Thomas, Melissa Jefferson Wooden.
Whoa. Okay, so you're picking Brittany Brown to win the whole thing.
I'm saying it because I'm like half of me believes what I'm saying, and the other half is not. But like I'm picking her because again, I get drawn to athletes who proved me wrong in the past and did it
Mm,
emphatically. Where I counted Brittany Brown out in 2024. I just didn't take her seriously. When she made the world in 2023, which you just reminded me of again, I took it as a blip on the radar. Then I dug back and thought that she was fast. And notice, I mean, that's a
yeah.
in American context of like
Yeah.
made worlds, got a medal years prior, like 2019. So the pre-COVID era. So I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, so like back then. So I was like, oh, this is her last hurrah. Come back 2024. All right, you here. And then 2024, she wasn't just here.
Yeah.
Like at some point in the year, she started making me a believer. I'm like, yo, maybe she not just running these races to like mix it up. She
Yeah.
actually thinks she can win these races. Like, that's how I felt. I was like, she
Yeah.
really thinks she could win. And then she didn't just think she could win. She like goes to the Olympic final, gets the medal, and I'm like, well, I mean, stranger things have happened. And then
Yeah.
she goes to
Yeah.
Atlos, where by all estimations, Gabby Thomas was supposed to win. And
Pulled
she
it
doesn't.
off.
And Brittany Brown gets it. And you know, she mixed it up in the 100 as well. So at that point, I'm like, you know what? She goes right up there on the shelf with Fred. Stop betting against them.
True.
They're my
That's
two
fair.
athletes who are like, it doesn't matter how they're getting it done. It doesn't matter how. I don't understand it all. But they're that all-star who is an all-star. And if you ask me how the points got scored, I couldn't tell you. But it don't add up. But hey, they keep showing up on the all-star team. Just let them
They
rock.
find a way. They
Just let
find a
them rock.
way.
So for that reason, this I'm putting it on the record.
Whew.
Brittany, Gabby, Melissa, in that order. I'm putting it for the racers, but my wild card to Mari Davis is my wild card, and I kind of alluded to it already.
That's
So
fair. That's fair. That's fair. For me, for all your arguments with Brittany, I agree, but it's still hard for me to pick against Gabby just on when we're averaging everything out. So I'm picking Gabby, Brittany, and then I'm picking Favor Ophelia, and then I'm picking Melissa as my wild card. I think that Favor, because the thing I'm looking at is Favor. She just ran well in the 200 recently. She made the Olympic final last year. I feel like she has some chops where she can really mix things up. So yeah, Gabby, Brittany, Favor, and then Melissa is my wild card. The thing about Melissa is like, yeah, she did well in Kingston, but the problem is now you have Kayla White, you have Tamari Davis, you have Gabby Thomas. Like all these athletes are 200 runners coming into the short sprints now that weren't there last time. So that's why I'm pushing Melissa a little farther down in that too.
okay,
So
so you're saying her
yeah,
200 is going to hold her back significantly.
I think it's going to push her back just a little bit.
I mean,
Yeah,
you think she beat Jason Sears at the last in the last 200, like
yeah.
that
But I
happened,
mean, I think
and she
Jason's is
beat
going to fall
Daryl
back
Nita in the
too.
last 200. That happened.
True, true. But then
Just for the people at home, let the record show. She did go out there and run a 200 with both of them on the track and beat them.
she did, she did, she did.
So
And oof,
that's why you see what that gave me. Like I moved off of that because all this whole who runs the one to two. Remember, I followed them through college. And when Melissa Jefferson Wooden won that 60-meter dash indoors for the NCAA, I tracked her whole career till that point.
mhm.
I'm one of I don't know how many other people like did a deep dive because I did a video on it. Because there wasn't a lot of Melissa Jefferson content before she was Melissa Jefferson Wooden. There was not a lot out on the internet. And you know, I did the video and I dug. So I was like, yeah, like she was ripping 200s back then in college
Yeah,
at that level. So I mean, she's just being asked to do it now under a different pretense. But
it's
I
fair. It's
mean,
fair.
she's another one who stopped betting against her. Come to
Fair. That's
USA
true.
and she won. We thought it was a fluke. It
That's
wasn't.
true.
I mean, she didn't get a medal at the Worlds that year, but that was then. Then, you know, Olympic team this year. I mean,
Yeah,
through the trials, it was Sha'Carri, then it was her. Just keep
yeah.
it honest. And then when you got to the games, if you take Julian Alfred off the planet, I mean,
Yeah, it's true.
like let's be
It's
honest, the
true.
two top ladies right now in the sprints, Julian Alfred and Sha'Carri, they show things that other people don't show.
Hmm.
Melissa Jefferson Wooden is the best woman in the world in the 100 who's not them.
Yeah,
Not just
yeah.
because of the medal, but because like her track record for who's in the game right now, she's the best in the game right now who's not them. I'm never taking her ahead of them,
Yeah,
but I'm also gonna probably never take anybody ahead of her in a race that really matters.
that matters. Yeah, she's gonna
So
show up when it counts. So, but we'll see. That's my three. I think we have a good one. I want to look at that long sprints group. We have a couple this one. So Gabby Thomas was in Kingston, moved down from the long sprints now over to short sprints. But I feel like the long sprints still some good quality, and we're adding some interesting names here. So we got the racers with Sawi Nasser, Marley Paulino, Nikisha Price, Alexis Holmes. So all four of them coming back. Then you have some challengers. Amber Anning, she just won the World Indoor Gold in the 400. You have Isabella Whitaker, NCAA indoor champion. I think her eligibility is up for Arkansas,
Yeah.
so she's able to compete. Kendall Ellis, USA in outdoor champion last year, went to the Olympics, and then Stacey Ann Williams from Jamaica. So this field, it's still pretty. I think it's still pretty solid. Actually, it's very solid in general, even though we're losing Gabby. But what do you think of this field so in the women's long sprints?
I mean, well, we still have the two heavy hitters at the top.
Yeah,
I mean, we know the names. Paulino and Nasser. There you go.
yeah, yeah.
So,
That's
I mean, in the four, still don't expect anybody to beat them off of what we saw.
no, nobody's touching
Um,
them.
but we also have this interesting subplot to me, which is Alexis Holmes and Brandy.
Mm, mm,
To
yeah.
me, that's the interesting subplot off of like the whole World Indoor Final 400, and so on. So, Alexis Holmes, she likes to get herself in these battles because she did that with Femke Bowl, like it was the back and forth,
Oh, true,
like
true.
multiple races, them two racing and relays and so on and so forth. So, for
That's
that
true.
reason, I say looking at this field, um, well, actually, you know what? I'm gonna give the unpopular opinion.
Mm.
Now, I'm not saying this because I actually think she's gonna win, but I'm saying it because it needs to be said. Isabella Whitaker is another one you probably shouldn't be betting against
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
because
Why?
didn't she just win NCAA indoor?
She did. She did.
Didn't she break
And
like didn't she like break the record?
she broke the. She was like second fastest of all time.
Okay,
Like
there you go.
the
Like she was like right
world.
up there.
Yeah.
So like for that reason, I'm like, and she's coming right off of that field, that like that form. Like she's still in college mode. That's what I'm trying
True.
to say.
True.
She's still in college mode. I mean, she got a deal with On Running or something like that, but like, or I believe that I think that's it. I could be
Yeah.
wrong.
Yeah. It's on running like an NIL deal, but I mean,
I
it's
mean, well,
you're
she's
you're right.
pro now,
Yeah.
so it's different.
Yeah.
So my point is like, no, I don't believe she's gonna win this. And I'm not even sure I'm gonna take her as a wild card. I would take Amber Anning before I take her.
Yeah.
But if she mix it up while we down there and make it real interesting, I ain't gonna be that shocked. But it's because okay, look, that's the only way I know how to backdoor it. Start with the four. Is anybody beating Nasser or Paulino?
No. No.
Okay,
They're one
so those
two.
points are
That's
gone.
it. That's it.
Those points are
Like
off the board.
yeah.
Okay, so do we? Let's even go here. Do you think Paulino can beat Nasser right now?
I think she can, but I'm not gonna bet on it. But I think
Okay,
she can, but I'm
she'll
not
make
betting
it
on
look
it.
better this time.
Yeah, 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 yeah. I think she probably saw what Nasser did and was like,
I
nah,
better
like I
step it
can't
up.
let that happen. Yeah. But I'm not gonna bet on I still have Nasser winning the 400 and then Paulino second.
So if Nasser wins the four, where did Nasser finish in two? She was fourth.
She was fourth, but it was Gabby, then Paulino, then Dean Asher Smith, then Nasser. So you eliminated Gabby
The
and Dean
two
Asher Smith.
people
Yeah.
who are ahead, yeah. So if that's the case, then technically with Paulino Nasser. Ooh.
Yeah. I think that's what I think. I think that
Oh
Paulino
snap!
and Nasser
All
are
right,
gonna
wait,
be
wait,
top
let's
two
stop
both
playing this
times.
game. Wait, what are we doing? Wasting our
That's what
time.
I know. Like
First and
it's
second.
1-2. It's 1-2. Like that's a foregone conclusion because like that's it. Because not even like these other athletes like Amber Anning or Nikisha Pratt, like they're none of them are 200 runners. None of them. But Paulino and Nasser, we've seen what they did.
They beat
Like
them.
yeah. So
They beat
that
you.
top two, it's a foregone conclusion. Like at this point, it's a race for third place overall. Like so, like, eh, so
Oh, okay. So if
that's what
that's
it
what it
is.
is, if that's what we're doing, so yeah. Well, do we have our order first, second? Because I'm leaning towards Nasser first.
Yeah,
But then it, well,
I
no,
think
but then
Nasser.
it, but Paulino could win the two. So actually, I'll take that back. I'm gonna take Paulino overall. Okay, I'm taking her
Ooh.
Paul. But it could. What if they tie? Then they have to go to like a tiebreaker, right?
They have to go to tiebreaker or whoever. Yeah, it goes to tiebreaker. Whoever has the wider margin. So like if someone finished like farther ahead in one of the events,
All right. So
that's
I'm
what they
going
do.
Paulino or as my winner and Nasser
Mm.
second. Are you going that way or are you flipping it?
I'm doing opposite. I'm going Nasser
Okay.
as my winner and then Paulino
Okay.
in
There you
second.
go.
Yeah.
So I
Okay.
mean, 1-2. So now we just need to figure out. well, three and four, but third in a wild card. That's the discussion from
That's
this
the
point on.
conversation.
And
Oof. Well, who you looking at? Who's like
I'm going
who
Amber
you
Anning.
Amber Anning?
I'm doing it. I'm doing it.
Oh, that's one. Well,
Amber
why
Anning,
Amber
Alexis
Anning?
Holmes, in that order.
Why Amber Anning for third?
World
This is
Indoor.
okay. That's fair. That's fair. It
World
was
Indoor
close
Gold.
though with Alexis. Alexis
Yeah,
was
it
right there.
was. But that's what I said. I said Alexis Holmes was fourth. I have her as my four. She's my
That's
wild
fair.
card. I'm going Amber Anning, then Alexis Holmes.
That's fair. That's fair.
Because Amber
Okay.
Anning, I think you got to understand, like, of all those girls who ran for Arkansas last year, the Keisha Price
Mm,
included, Amber Anning was the best, if you ask me.
really?
Yeah,
Ooh.
like, but I even did like what is it, like a all an indoor All American list, and like ranked like used like a point scoring system to kind of determine who the best athletes were in the entire nation, like across all the events. And Amber Anning was the woman. See, on
Mm,
the team that had all the talent in the four, it was you don't
yeah.
get it. Amber Anning was the one coming out of that indoor season. Now, granted, it was indoor, but it was college where indoor actually is taken seriously. So what I'm saying is like, because like for what her breadth of talent was,
Hmm.
so because no shade to Nikisha Price, it's just no confidence in the two. No, I have none
Yeah.
whatsoever.
Yeah. Yeah.
When it comes
No.
to like this field, no.
No.
So Amber Anning is going to be more competitive in that. So that's why I say, I mean, again, no shade to anybody else. And again, Isabella Whitaker, stranger things have happened. I just don't think that when the point scores fall, she's going to be in the top three.
Yeah. No. No.
And
No. No.
I'm more confident taking Alexis Holmes and Amber Anning. It's just I'm going Amber Anning, Alexis Holmes, because I think she wants to make a statement that like World Indoor wasn't a fluke, because that's kind of how it's going to be sold in the American market. Like, oh well, kind of. No, I'm like, no, y'all don't know who she is. Like,
Yeah.
allow me to reintroduce myself.
Yeah.
Like, that's how I see
Right.
Amber Anning in this event. Allow me to reintroduce myself.
That's true. And like honestly, Amber Anning, even you talk about Nikisha Price. Yes, Amber Anning won NCAA indoors in the four. Nikisha Price won NCAA outdoors in the four. But when we got to the Olympic Games, Amber Anning made the final and she finished fifth place in that 400 final. Like, so she has the Olympic final against the best in the world, and she has this world indoor gold. So it's actually hard for me to pick against Amber. I agree with you. I have Amber in third, and then probably Alexis in fourth. That's what I'm probably picking. Amber Anning, I think she has some qualities, but I think it's like obviously Nasser, Paulino, like they're far and ahead from the
The
rest of the
field.
field.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
So
Well, I think we basically agree.
yeah.
Like, I mean, this one is, well, this is why we run the races.
Yeah. And also I just want to like before we close, like shout out to like Kendall Ellis, USA champion last year. She's run 49 seconds. Like she beat out, literally every single other American to get to the Olympics. Now, unfortunately, she didn't like that didn't translate at the Olympic Games where she didn't get to the final and all that. But someone like her, she's in there. Stacey Williams, she competed at the last Grand Slam. But I just think the other women, they're just gonna
Yeah.
show up.
Oh, yeah. And no shade to Kendall Ellis. It's just that with this field, it's two wrinkles, the 4-2.
Yeah.
And on top of that, most of the women in the field ain't American.
Yeah. That's a that's a
So
thing.
you see what I'm saying? Like being the fastest American, it's like it's a little anticlimactic once we look up at the rest of the world and say, well, it's not actually
Ugh.
our event this time.
Yeah.
Like the 4x4, as much as the women of America have the 4x4 on lock, that's because we got these big guns that be in hiding
Yeah.
that we can take out and like say, oh, think about it. Man, we about to talk about it in another video, like another section. But keep in mind, Shamir Little runs the four.
Yes.
And Sydney McLaughlin-Levrone runs the four.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
they also run it with barriers to make it
Exactly.
interesting. So like, and Gabby Thomas runs the four.
Yeah.
She reminded us that. Like
Literally.
she reminded us that she runs the four, even though she be running the 200 all the time, acting like a short sprinter. So like, all that being said, like that's why like winning Team USA in the four is a little different,
Hmm.
because like we got all these extra guns that like be in hiding.
Yeah.
Where it's like put them all three of those women we just said at Team USA Olympic trials in the four. I mean, Shamir Little was there, but I mean,
Yeah.
but
I
she
mean,
could split
like,
attention. She was
yeah.
running the four and the 400 hurdles. I'm saying like if she just showed up to run one,
If she had that focus, then it would have been very different.
I think it would have been different. Yeah. So,
Yeah, yeah.
but hey,
Eh,
like I said, this field right here, we know who's going 1, 2 in whatever particular order, and the comment section will let us know. But I want to watch the sequel, Amber Anning versus Alexis Holmes.
Alexis Holmes. So let's
That's the
see. Let's see
sequel.
what it's like.
Going into Grand Slam track Miami, we all saw what happened in the women's long hurdles. And we all knew it was going to happen before it happened. And considering Sydney McLaughlin-Levrone is coming back, it's going to happen again. So before we even get into this, because we're talking about the women's long hurdles, but we're really talking about Sydney. So, um, do I have to ask you who your pick is?
Pick for second place because, like you said, it's Sydney. Like, like
Okay.
Sydney, it's Sydney. That's who we're talking about. All as I always say, all due respect to the rest of the field, but come on,
I mean,
come on.
okay, I got it. But well, okay, we'll go through the field. So, but we'd be disingenuous if we didn't start here. I think everybody knows it, and I think everybody on the other line on the other in the other lanes kind of knows it too. So she went 52 mid in the 400 hurdles first
Yeah,
race.
she went 52-7,
Okay,
52-7-0 in the
okay.
or
So
7-6 or something like that. Yeah.
all right, so over under 52.
Oh, I think under. I think
Okay,
this is where Sydney wants to like put some real damage out there. That's what I
okay.
think.
So you
Yeah.
say under 52, and so let's say 51 anything, and I don't
51
think
high or something. That's what I'm thinking.
nobody else can run that in this field. No,
Nah.
nobody else in
No,
this
no, no.
field has ever run that.
No. Literally. Actually, yeah, it's literally no. The
Nobody in
closest
this
is
field has ever run that. Yeah.
yeah, the closest is Shamir Little. She's run 52-2 or 52-3,
Mhm.
something like that.
Well,
But
that's who
like,
we both have for second without
yeah.
even saying it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
We don't even have to
Clearly.
ask. Like I know. Like I know we both have her. So I
That's the
mean,
thing.
so with that in mind, it's like, okay, well, I'm going over under 50 for the four.
Oh, I think she goes under. I think she goes under 50. Yeah, same thing. Because even in Kingston, it was extremely windy in the 400 for her, and she ran 50.3 seconds in that 400. So she's going
So
under.
so
She's
over
going
under
under.
49. I
I'm
say
gonna say
49
over.
high. I'm
Oh,
fucking
okay.
49 low, 49 low, like 49
49.
3.
Okay. Yeah, yeah. That's where I'm about. 49-3. So I'm saying she's probably gonna go 51 high and then 49 low in the hurdles and then the 400. That's what I'm thinking for Sydney.
Is Sydney gonna let's assume Nasser and Paulino beat her, which is not a safe assumption. But let's assume they do on the clocks. Do you think that she's going to beat everybody else in that 400 field?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like, yeah, like come on. At the end of the day, the actually the four fastest 400 runners in this entire Grand Slam Miami are Nasser in any order. Nasser, Paulino, Sydney, and Gabby. Those are the four fastest by far. And it literally they're the fastest. If we're talking like head to head. Now, of course, there's like I think Nikisha Price has a faster personal best, but like Sydney's there. So I think, but I don't think she's going to be able to break 49 this race. I think she's probably going to
She'll
lay
be
it
running
out.
by herself.
She'll be running by herself, and I think she'll lay it out more in the 400 hurdles as opposed to the 400. That's my thought
Okay.
process.
Well, that was we can stay tuned for that because that's LA. LA is when we finally get the matchup.
Yeah, exactly,
Like that's
exactly.
the matchup that everybody. But keep in mind, Diamond League final, the bootleg final where they let her run the real final for many reasons, which are justified because it's their league, I guess. I mean, or their
Yeah,
structure. But the whole point is, they still ran races with Sydney there. Like they invented sections because they wanted her there, and
yeah.
she beat Paulino's time
True, true, true,
in
true.
that final.
Yeah, yeah,
To
true.
me,
It was like
makes
close.
her the
Yeah,
unofficial winner. Just
maybe,
say so.
maybe. I guess I'm looking at it because we just saw what Nasser and Paulino did
Yeah,
in Kingston, but again, we'll see them actually head to head in LA at
yeah.
least.
I
But
mean, there's no part of me that think that if Sydney was not
I
in
mean,
that race, that she wouldn't
she
be at least with Paulino again.
yeah, she probably would have broken 49 in that race. I think maybe,
So
maybe.
so there you go. So all right, so second place we got Shamir.
Yeah, Shamir Little. She's the fastest she's both fastest on the clock in both the hurdles and the 400. She's run 49.6 in the open 400. Like she has the talent here. So it's hard for me to say that anyone else. I mean, shout out to Rochelle Clayton. She may actually beat Shamir in the 400 hurdles, but I just don't think in the 400, like as things average out, like she's going to be able to beat out Shamir.
Well, I mean, for that reason, I mean, again, it's an interesting conversation, but I think the races just hold court in literally the name that City has wrote him on the list.
Yeah.
I'm
That's what
saying
it
Sydney
is.
McLaughlin-Levrone cleared 24 points and $100,000 and a nice little yellow envelope. And then maybe they'll switch the color. Who knows? Then like this is what we're looking forward to.
I mean,
We're
listen,
looking forward to whether the envelope color changes.
it's the Sydney show. The thing about I'm sorry, I keep going back to Sydney. The thing about Sydney is that there was a year, I think it might have been in 2021 or 2022 when she ran 50 seconds for the first time. But early in that year, might have been in like May or June, she hit a hurdle or like the hurdle was misplaced on the track and she still ran like 51.4 seconds. Like it's hard for anyone to get like she has to make tragic mistakes for someone to be able to like really get close to her in those hurdles. And then the 400, she has zero barriers. It's just like, you know, who is going to be able to actually really catch her? So it's really about Sydney, and then there's a gap behind where, yeah, I think Shamir Little holds that spot, pretty solidly.
Yeah. So okay, well, if that's the case, then I mean, well, yeah, I mean, I guess you got to take Rochelle Clayton third. I mean, the races are the races for a reason.
Yeah, yeah. I think
I
we can
mean,
agree. Sydney, Shamir, Rochelle, right? I think.
yeah, I mean, but shout out to Anna Hall. Hopping in this field. I mean, on the Grand Slam stage, which I'm going to refer to it as that from now on,
Hmm.
the Grand Slam stage, because it's different. It's
Hmm.
clear that the Grand Slam stage is supposed to be different. I'm going to dignify it until otherwise proven. It looks like this is a different stage compared to everything else that we're calling pro track in this amateur pro model. This is the first thing that I think looks like pro.
Hmm.
And for that reason, shout out to her for even putting her name in the hat. And I mean, you said I don't I would I mean following because she's really a multi more than anything else. But NCAA's, you
Yeah.
said she put up numbers in the 400 hurdles.
Yeah, 2022, I think it was. That was she finished behind Britton Wilson, who won NCAA's in the 400 hurdles, and she finished second place in those four hurdles, and she did like the multis. Now she's not running times. She ran like 54 seconds or something in the four hurdles, and I don't think she's run it since she was at Florida. But at least like you said, shout out to her for like putting her name in this hat. I don't know how she'll do in the open four, but she's someone who she's someone who is a gamer. Like she's going to be able to like really compete. She's won medals at the past, at the Olympic Games in the multi events at the World Championship. So she has a talent. Can never deny her talent.
Yeah. Well, as we transition off of that, then I mean, that leads us to the women's short hurdles,
Hmm.
which that field, the conversation is nowhere near as clear because when I look at the list now in its present situation, its present construction, well, Akira Nugent, Jasmine Camacho Quinn, Masai Russell, and now Katharina Samba Mayola didn't run the first one, right?
No, she's opening up here. This is
But
her
she's coming
first.
here.
She's coming here.
And then I got to keep it going. We got Kenny Harrison,
Yeah,
Tia Jones, who won the 100 hurdles at the last slam. So
yeah,
can't throw that out for what it is. And
hmm,
then you have Alicia Johnson,
yep,
Olympic finalist, Team USA, and then Maribel Vanessa Caicedo.
yeah,
And I say that name for a reason because I remember it. Because when I was looking at the hurdles last year, 2024, she put up a very fast time
yeah.
through the West Regional. I think, if I'm correct, I think she was at Washington State.
Washington State. Yep,
Yeah.
yep.
So, I mean, like that name, when I see it, it's like, wait a minute, don't just skip past her. Like, don't just rock it past because, she could, I mean, put down, I mean, I don't think she's beating this field,
No,
but I think because she was at the games.
she
Like,
made it to the game. She made it to semifinals at the Olympics.
yeah,
But
like she
yeah,
can make it. She belongs in the field, is what I'm trying to say. Like, she's
yeah.
like, even if for the people at home, if you don't know who she is, like at least through the hurdles. Now I don't know what her 100 looking like, but through the hurdles. But then we don't know what most of these people looking like. But okay, who you got? Because this field right here, Still interesting, but I love that Kenny Harrison and Alicia Johnson are here. Like I
I
really, really
know that's the thing. You're looking at between all these women, you still have you have all top four or top three from the Olympic Games last year. Though like I said, Serena, she wasn't at the Kingston one, but someone like Alicia Johnson, she made the Olympic final, even though she hit a hurdle. So she wasn't able to. She finished like down in the pack. But Kenny Harrison is also, yeah, she didn't make the Olympic team, but she's still the second fastest woman of all time, and she has multiple world medals. So this is a competitive field. But on right now, I'm looking at, I think Akira Nugent. I'm probably gonna pick her as a slight favorite, only because of what we saw in Kingston, where she finished well enough in the hurdles. I think she was third or fourth or something like that, but still relatively close. But then in the 100, she only finished second to Daniel Williams, who isn't in this field. And it was actually a pretty decent gap. Like Danielle and Akira were like really fast in that 100. So I think Akira is probably going to edge out the overall win here. But it's really competitive. Like I honestly, it's hard to even pick after that or like
well,
have
I'm gonna
that
make a bet.
confidence.
I did some. I cheated. I did some homework. Like right now, while you were talking, I looked off to the left and I looked at my screen and I said, "Let me see this," because I had a feeling about something, but I wanted to check it.
Mm,
Kenny Harrison, what's a 200-meter PR? Yes,
200. Has she
open to it.
run? Wow. Is it like, I'm gonna guess like 22-7?
22-1, 22-1-9,
Whoa. Okay.
and
That's
like she
that's
ran that
fast.
at down in Texas. Now it was wind assisted, and she
That's
ran,
that's still good.
but she doesn't run it often, and that was
But
2022.
I mean, honestly, that's not too far away. And like 22-1, even if it's wind assisted, like still,
Yeah,
that's
because that's the only thing we got to go off of about where her speed it could be. So for that reason,
wow.
considering okay, but again, I'm gonna say it this way: Kenny Harrison's another one who's in a very unique category because she had the world record for a period of time. She breaks the world record after not making the 2016 Olympic team. She's been in the game for a
Mhm.
while, but like at the end of the day, like she's one of the most talented hurdlers the world has ever seen, who just
Yeah,
doesn't have Olympic gold, quote unquote, to go with it. So all that being said, the Grand Slam stage. I mean, I don't know how much what she still has in the bag, but if she got anything close to that in the bag, she's gonna she just got to figure out how to get through that hurdle event, which is this is as loaded the field can get. But if Danielle Williams can win the last one, keep in mind somebody who we thought was on the back half of their career,
true.
then why
True.
can't Kenny Harrison do it here? Who's on the
Very true.
back half of the of her career, perhaps, where it's like, hey, just because y'all wasn't paying attention. Like I
Yeah,
think that's what the slams had taught me in the first one, that it's pretty hard to predict just based off of like when you have fields like this.
that's true.
So
Yeah,
so yeah,
that's
she's
fair.
my one just
She's
because
okay.
I'm gonna
She's
be
your
different.
overall one.
I'm gonna
Mm,
just be different and say I'm going Kenny Harrison.
that's fair. So what about? I mean, the Olympic champion. What about Masai Russell? Now at the last in Kingston, she didn't do that well. I think she was overall maybe fifth place, both in the 100 and the 100 hurdles, and she finished like overall fifth or something like that. But do we think maybe she's going to do a little bit better? We just saw her at Tom Jones. She finished second place to Grace Stark, but she ran significantly better at least. Do you think she finishes top three here? Maybe top
Yeah,
two? Yeah,
yeah, but I mean, do you have confidence in her open one based off of what you saw last week? Because the problem with the hurdle structure, I don't want to say problem, but like the way it's set up, the 100 points count just as much.
it's true.
So because they count just as much, if you have
Ooh,
somebody who I right now have no confidence is going to win that 100, the only way
mm,
she wins on point scores is the way the game is played. She has to win the 100 hurdles, which she could, but she has to
yeah,
do it. It's not even up for debate anymore because Akira
yeah,
Nugent proved she doesn't have to win it.
yeah,
She could just
yeah.
be up enough.
That's true.
Because Tia
That's
Jones won
true.
it and then couldn't put up numbers in the
No,
100 like at all.
she did
So it
really
was a
bad in the
wrap.
100. Yeah, it was
Like it
over.
was over. So like her only way to be in the contention is she has to win the one again. I'm sorry, 100 hurdles again because nobody's picking her in the open one.
Yeah, no, 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 no. That's true. That's true. It gets tough. It gets tough. So, oof. Okay, so let's like because the 100, I think it's like it's so tricky. And like you said, Kenny, I think she's definitely in there. Akira, she's shown at least in the last one. Who do you think takes the 100 hurdles? Who do you think takes that race?
That's a more who takes the slam versus who takes that are the two different conversations.
True.
I'm just gonna be that guy and say, hmm,
It's tough. It's tough.
I'm calling him. You know what? Fine. I'm gonna just stick with it. I'm gonna stick with dumb idiot logic. I'm gonna just stay with Masai until she the same way like because I was betting against her for too long, and then I'm gonna have to. That's like with Fred. I'm not gonna give up.
Mm,
Staying with you, so I'm staying with her. I'm staying with her still. I mean, I just don't know how the back half of those point scores will go, but obviously, if she wins it, she puts her in the mix.
mm.
Um, so I have, but I think Kenny will be in the. I think Kenny's gonna pull Danielle Williams. I think she is. She's gonna be
Wow.
like
Okay.
second, third, but I think she'll probably be second in the 100 hurdles to
Mm.
whoever, and then she could win the open one, and that's it. That's what I think is gonna happen.
It's gonna happen. Okay. That I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at that. I actually I still have I think Tia Jones will still win the hurdles and then
Really?
she's gonna I think she will. I think that she showed because even in Kingston, she was like a last minute addition and she ended up running 12.6. She was significantly relatively ahead of the field. I think she has that talent, but I don't think she's gonna show up in the 100. So, but I have Masai and probably Kenny in there as well. But overall, I think Akira is going to win the whole thing, and then Masai and Kenny are going to come out and be second and third. That's like my overall.
Okay. I mean, Akira's in my top three. I don't think
She's in
she'll
your
ever
top
leave
three.
it. And with all the information I have, as long as she's out there, I think I'm taking her.
Mm.
So for that reason, so my three would be okay. I'm placing my bets here. I'm sorry, Masai, because of the 100. I'm gonna say Kenny Harris and Akira Nugent, Masai Russell in that order,
Mm.
and Jasmine Camacho Quinn will be my fourth. I don't think she'd ever get left.
That's true. That's true.
I
She's
feel
probably
like
never getting less
she's
than fourth.
yeah.
That's true. That's true. Yeah.
Nothing and
No.
because Sarina Samba Maella, I have no idea what her 100 is,
That's
and
the
I'm not
thing.
looking it up right now. But she can mix it up in the hurdles. We know that.
She could, but it's a question mark. She hasn't. She's the only one here who I don't think has even ran in 2025 yet. So it's just a question mark. It's a question mark.
Yeah,
But
I mean, somebody said something in the comments, and I want to respond to it. So we read your comments so y'all know. And somebody was like, "Hey, how come y'all are like trying to make these into like Olympic finals and so on?" And I'm like, "This is pro track. Like
right?
these are supposed to be competitive fields. Like, what do you want? You really want to wait around once every 4 years to watch a race that looks like it's actually entertaining, or for that matter, even once a year at the Worlds?" When so many things can go wrong, an injury over here, a hit hurdle over there, like like you need a stage where real top talent has a place to go to be top talent.
Hmm.
Get in the ring and throw hands because otherwise we're leaving a lot of it up to chance,
Hmm.
especially in the hurdles. Like too much is going to chance if you're waiting for one race. So we need a series of races, not just from an entertainment standpoint, but like if we really want it to be something. So,
Yeah.
but hey, that's just me thinking. And this field has the racers proved it. Because when you get those racers, nobody can just hang up the phone when you call them.
No. Like,
Like, there's
like
nobody you can call who's just gonna be like, not running. It's like, hey, would you like to run with the Olympic podium?
literally the podium.
And they're like, well, where else were we gonna go? Like,
Like
what other
literally.
company for $100,000?
Literally, like there's no literally that's the point. Would you like to run with the Olympic podium and also with other Olympic finalists like Alacia Johnson is in there, Kira Nugent was in that final, Kenny Harrison is the second fastest woman of all time. It's just like it's like what do you want?
But and the money.
Exactly, and the money. It's like come
But
on.
it's like, so I'm gonna get paid if I lose. I get paid if I win. And if I win, it
Exactly.
actually looks like it meant something.
Yeah, and like we've been saying, you have the 100 meters. Arguably, it's a toss up here. So you actually have a good shot of making a good amount of money here against these quality hurdlers. So you're not hanging up the phone. Like you're taking this call.
Yeah, I mean, we're getting a glimpse into the future of Grand Slam through this field. That's the best way I
Yeah.
can put it. You're getting a glimpse into what it could be. Where, again, who can hang up the phone? Like, Like what more do you want? Like,
Yeah.
I fine. Then you want to run the Continental Tour? Have fun. We'll see you later.
Right?
Because whoever's getting last over here is probably getting more than you can.
Literally, literally. So,
So, but hey,
yeah. On
that's the
slam
field.
track, we've got the long sprints. Now, on the men's side, we're diving in with a few long sprinters. We saw some changes. Stephen Gardner is in here. He's replacing Quincy Hall as a racer, but we still have, for the most part, pretty high quality field between Matthew Hudson Smith, Stephen Gardner, Dream Richards. So who are you looking at as the top three? We saw Matthew Hudson Smith. He won in Kingston for the long sprints, the 400, 200. Who do you think is going to take the top spot here? Does he retain it, or does someone else take that title? What do we think?
This field is a toss-up in a different way because
Mm,
we have two guys in the field, but one specifically who actually is fast in the 200.
mm.
Because the long sprints group, deceptively speaking, is really a 400-meter group. That's what it is.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
just code named as something else. So as a result, since it's the 400-meter group, then you put a guy who can run the 200 under 20 in that group.
Like well under 20.
Like now we've kind of blown up the group because we just handed him 12 points because Ogando don't have to give, that's his name, for the record. In case you were not paying attention, Alexander Ogando, you reminded me because I forgot. He's been in every single final from 2022 to 2024 on the world stage. Every single one. He may not be
Hmm.
in the front, but he was there. And that
Yeah.
matters. So as a result, considering we're competing, ain't nobody here beating him. Nobody, none whatsoever. So that's 12 points in the bank for him. And I'm even throwing it out. We got another challenger, Ryan Zeze of France. Or Zeze, or forgive me if I said it wrong. Comment section, let
Yeah.
me know. I mean, I looked it up. Like, he's technically a 200 runner. And
Yeah.
he's
Yeah.
better in the one than he is in the four. If we're going
Let's
off world athletics and what they think about his personal best. But he's here. So I'd say if we're going off of that, like, unless he's just out of shape, because Jareem Richards, he was a 200 runner. I don't think he is anymore. I think
mm,
he was in terms of like what he was putting down.
yeah,
But
the
these
19
guys, they've
seconds and
been
all that.
doing this recently.
That's true. That's true.
So I'd
Yeah.
say in the two, we've got 12 and 8 points going away, or it's
Mm.
supposed to go away. So as
Supposed to on paper.
so now it's like, and Ogano is fast enough in the four to
Yeah.
not
That
be in the bottom two if things go his way. So it's like he's going to be in the top three. Ogando's going to be in the top three when this is done.
Yeah, because
They not
like
so
you
much,
said,
but Ogando's
yeah,
going to be
Ziz
in the
is
top three.
questionable. Yeah, Alex Ogando, he has 12 points on the board. Done. So at minimum, it's like, yeah, he's getting third place. Then after that, that's where you start to figure things out. Zeze, who knows what Ryan could actually do there. I mean, also, I wouldn't sleep on someone like Steven Gardner. At least I'll shut him out in the two because he does have, I think he's run 19.7 in the 200. This is some years back, but he
Okay.
actually does. But it was like a one off. I don't think he's been as consistent enough. So there's but he recently ran like 20.6, I think, last weekend or something like that. So yeah, he hasn't run fast in a while. But I think when we look at the four, Alex, he can be in that mix, but then you have Matthew Hudson Smith. Then you have Bryce Deadman. Bryce Deadman just came off running what 44.3.
Yeah, but that time
So
is not the world lead anymore. It was only
it's not, it's not
for like a few
it,
days, and then
true,
by the
true,
time we
true.
hit Tom Jones and all of that, that was shot.
Yeah.
So like, I want to pick him. Like, I want to pick him in my three, but all conventional wisdom tells me do not. So like, I'll say I'm rooting for you, and please
Mm,
prove me wrong. That's how I'll say it. So I think I'm putting Ogando second. Like
mm.
when it all hits the boards, I think he's second. And you know what? You said Bryce Deadman, but considering Ja'Cory Patterson just ran faster, and I know he can run the
Oh,
two.
oh, that's a good point. Yeah, don't forget his days in the
Ooh.
NCAA. He was kind of
So
real good.
here's my three. Matthew Hudson Smith, keep it from what he just did before. Alex Ogando and Ja'Cory Patterson. That's my three.
Oh, okay. That
Because
that's
Ja'Cory
ooh,
Patterson's
that's
hungry.
good. That's good. Yeah, he's hungry, and we know that he's in
He's
shape.
he's a new world
Yeah,
lead in the four, right?
and he's one of those. Yeah, or yeah, and he's one of those guys who doesn't have a contract. Like he's
Yeah.
probably running for a contract. Like
And money. And
and money.
like that 100,000 would make a huge difference
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
for
yeah.
his year. like
That's true.
compared to if he gets 10,000.
That's
Like
true.
it would be worlds apart.
Yeah, that's
So
true.
for that reason,
Okay.
like even if he get third, that's a big deal for him. If
That's
he
a big
gets
deal.
second, that's a big deal. So Ja'Cory Patterson wants to be first.
Yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah.
Grand Slam track, this meet for him is a big deal. So I'm just gonna throw it at the board and see what sticks. I'm calling Ja'Cory Patterson, Alex Ogando, Matthew Hudson Smith in that order.
Ooh, okay. So that's a wow. So I'm gonna go Matthew Hudson Smith. I'm gonna go Ja'Cory Patterson, then Alex Ogando. With Dream Richards is my wild card because I feel like he can do well enough in the two and the four to like really show something. But yeah, Matthew,
I mean,
Ja'Cory, and then Alex.
if you're giving me a wild card, then I'm gonna just go on straight allegiance, Bryce Deadman.
That's fair.
Even though I ain't gonna lie to you, I don't know if all the numbers are in his favor, but on straight allegiance, I'm pulling. I'm with you.
You
But
pulling Bryce Sedman.
but
So I mean, if we want to take a look from, because speaking of Ja'Cory Patterson at Tom Jones, I think he finished second place overall to I forget who it was. It was Chris Robinson, who's in
okay.
here, but who's running the 400 hurdles as a challenger. So we can take a look at those long hurdles where we have a similar field actually. We have, same racers, Alessandro Santos, Caleb Dean, Rashawn Clark, but now we add in Chris Robinson, who actually ran 44-1 in the 400. You have a couple other guys. Trevor Bassett is in here. So what do you think about that field, the men's long hurdles?
This is another one where I can actually call it straight up. Allison Dos Santos, Chris Robinson, Caleb Dean in that order. Caleb Dean
That's
is too
fair.
fast to not to like be not competitive in the four. He just has to put together a good 400 hurdle race. Like that's really the hardest
Mm,
part of this for him. Chris Robinson is hungry. We know this. And so
yeah,
you just pointed out that because I thought Patterson had the lead and Chris Robinson technically had it. So there you go. Again, the hungry athletes, GST is an amazing stage for them.
yeah,
Like
that's
the
the
ones
thing.
who don't have the table set at all, they're bringing their appetite. They're bringing the silverware. They're bringing the rotisserie chicken if they have to.
They really get
Like
everything.
they're like, yo, look, as long as they're at the table, I'm good. Whereas other people, like, they not even coming to the table till they see the Thanksgiving dinner and everything laid
Right?
out. So those are the ones who ain't here yet. So for that reason, but I don't pick against Dos Santos. I don't. So
Yeah, no,
Allison Dos
no,
Santos, you're one until otherwise stated. He's not Sydney. He's not. But in this field, he's like in a how I put it. If she's a 10, he's like an 8. But I still don't see
basically,
no other eights in this field.
basically.
Um, or even an 8.5. So, I mean, he's in a world where there's two nines in the game with him.
Hmm.
And
Yeah,
then, yeah, I'm going, yeah, that's it. Chris
that's your
Robinson,
three.
Caleb Dean. But again, it's for him, for Caleb, it's the speed. Because remember, he
Mm.
ran the 60 hurdles too. This man ran the 60.
True. That's
He
true.
was the
He's an
NCAA indoor
NCAA
finalist
indoor
for the
champ.
Open 60,
Oh yeah, finalist in Open 60, NCAA champion in the
champion of
60
60
hurdles.
hurdles.
He did
Yeah,
both.
yeah, yeah,
That
yeah.
that's true. I forgot. I actually forgot he was in the Open 60.
Yeah, people like him need team track, unfortunately,
Oof.
because we need to be
Wow.
able to see what he can do across all the events, and they won't let us.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. No, that's fair. That's fair. I have the same top three. Like Alison Dos Santos, Chris Robinson, Caleb Dean. Like Chris Robinson, just like with Ja'Cory Patterson, like he doesn't have a contract. He is trying to show up now, obviously to get that money, but to prove to whoever's out there watching, like, yo, I deserve a contract. I deserve to be like in this mix. And like in the 400 hurdles, obviously he has a world lead in the 400 now, but like he got fourth place at the Olympic trials last year. He literally got edged out by Trevor Bassett. So he has the ability to be one of those guys here in the 400 hurdles. And I think this is set up perfectly for him. But yeah, no one is touching Alison Dos Santos. Like we saw what he can do. It's like
Yeah,
foregone.
I mean, no, shout out to the rest of the field. Don't get me wrong.
Of course, of course.
I'm not saying like trying to like disrespect them. It's just when I look at the numbers, I have real reasons to take all three of those names ahead of y'all, and you can prove me wrong. Hey, I'll be there. You can say it to my face. But I mean, like I'm just going off of the past logic. And Dos Santos won the four for the record. He did.
Yeah, he won
So
both.
I mean, hey, you want to beat him, you gotta do it.
Yeah, that's what it is. That's what it is. So
So
yeah, I mean, last one. I mean, I think the men's short hurdles. Now this one is. I think just as tricky. We saw it in Kingston. It was
Yeah,
all kinds of ups and downs, similar to the women's short hurdles where the okay, cool. The 110-meter hurdles, we know what they can do there, but the 100 is like almost like a toss up. But now we have some, some other names in here. We got Trey Cunningham. He's actually the world leader in the 110 hurdles right now. Actually, just beat out, Grant Holloway, at Tom Jones. So
huge, huge victory. Yeah.
that was big. That was big. Dylan Beard is coming back. He won the 110 hurdles at Grand Slam in Kingston. So we have some names who are kind of like mixing things up here.
Because the hurdles are still a mixed bag, but like, how put it? We know Cunningham is talented in the hurdles. I don't have confidence in his flat speed.
Mm,
Like, I feel like he's a hurdler.
he's a hurdler. He's he's
And
run he's run I think he ran 10-2 or 10-3 last year from what I
I'm looking it
remember.
up. Like this time, I want homework. I'm like I want real numbers, but like I don't
Yeah.
have any evidence.
No, that's fair. I mean,
And
it's true.
personal
Like,
best in the 60, he ran 6'6" in the 60, 6'67"
okay,
for what
okay,
it's
that's actually
worth,
pretty good.
and
It's not too bad.
21 in the 200. He has
Uh,
no open 100s allegedly on World Athletics. None.
okay. You know what it was? He ran last year in Atlanta, but it was at that street meet, and I don't think any of those marks count. And that was kind of like a wonky track. So that probably doesn't actually count. But I mean, 6'6" is it's not too bad, but I don't think it gives any clear indication of like, all right, this guy is he's separating himself for the rest of
Yeah,
the
I
field in the
mean,
100.
Dylan Beard just got a taste of the slam, so he's going to be in my top three for what it is because we saw that he was able to come back
Yeah.
through that one and still be rolling. And he runs the 110 hurdles competitively. Every race for him is a big race.
Oh yeah.
Like the way
He's
he
one of those
competes,
guys.
it feels like he's trying. Sasha Zoya got to be in your top three because we just saw what he did.
I mean, yeah,
You
he
got to.
literally he did it. So
And the only way Freddie Crittenden and Daniel Roberts come out high on the point scores is they got to win the hurdles.
they have to.
Like they can't be
And
third; they have to win it.
yeah,
And no disrespect, I'm not taking Freddie Crittenden to be Daniel Roberts.
nah,
No, I'm
nah,
not in like from everything I've seen until now, I don't. So
yeah.
I'd say in this order, I'm going. Hmm.
What do you
Sasha
think?
Zoya could get knocked down the third, or like he could lose the slam, but like I don't think he's getting less than second in the 100.
No, yeah, no way.
So for that reason, in the hurdles is where you have to get him.
Hmm.
So if you get where we are in the year, I mean, because like okay, Trey Cunningham, like in the 100, what's he gonna get? Like fourth, fifth?
I mean, it honestly outside of Sasha, I think it could be a toss up. He can get second. He can get eighth. I don't know. That's a thing. That's a thing
I
with
don't think
these
he's getting
fields.
eighth.
I mean,
No,
probably not, but I mean, it's just like
not with
it's a
this
toss
field.
up. I think Trey will probably finish higher in the 100. I think he'll do pretty well in the 100.
Well,
But
okay. Well, we gotta pick
yeah,
our three. So I'm for my purposes, because everybody
yeah,
had their reasons. For
yeah.
my
What do you think?
reasons, I'm going in this order: Dylan Beard, Sasha Zoya, Daniel Roberts.
Oh, okay.
Because I think Daniel Roberts is gonna pull a good hurdle race out.
Think he'll pull a good one. Okay, I can't be mad at that three. I think for me, I'm gonna go Sasha to win it again. I'll go Dylan. Actually, no, I'm gonna go Sasha. I'm gonna go Trey Cunningham, and then I'll go Dylan Beard for third. Because I think my only thing with Freddie and Freddie and Daniel, I just remembered it. They're both running in China this weekend, and then they're coming back over to Miami. So I don't know with the travel. I'm sure they'll be ready. Like they're professionals, they have no choice but to be ready. But I just think someone like Trey, who's just coming straight from Tom Jones over, going
Yeah,
to
yeah.
Miami,
He's a
like
yeah.
I just think those little things are probably gonna like. And Dylan Beard, he's running for Walmart right now. Like he needs the money. He wants to keep winning that money to like,
Well,
I don't know, pay off everything, like pay off
I
his bills and
mean,
stuff.
hey, a lot. Well, I mean, a lot of us do, but but I hear you though. I hear you. I mean, all I could say is when I look at the names, I mean, it's just I go back to where I'm drawing. Dylan Beard has shown that he's unafraid to compete. You have to understand this man opens his season running at like Clemson. He don't care
Mm,
for where he's at in the game. A lot of this. will we go to the Diamond League and will we go over here and will I no show? He ain't none of that. He ain't got time for that.
Yeah, yeah,
He don't
yeah.
got time for that. He come in the game and it'd be like, okay, when did the meet start this year? Where are we going this
It-
week?
yep, yep.
We gonna race. That's what he does. And for the most part, he races well everywhere he goes. The thing is, he's American and making teams in the hurdles. Because especially when Grant Holloway says he's showing up indoors,
Yep.
I mean, there's always a spot that doesn't exist for
Yeah.
everybody else. Like it's now you're chasing two spots. And for World Indoors, it was one spot because only sent two
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
So
Literally.
like it's not his fault that like the way the game is set up, the spot that he could win, like he got what? He got third, right? At
Yeah.
USA's, right? USA
Yeah.
Indoors.
USA's. Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
like I'm saying, because the hurdles is a very different bag than what we get in the short sprints. So, but yeah, you can't go off of that alone. So yeah, I'm saying I'm calling it. Like I'm gonna stick by my guns. I got for my purposes, I have yeah, for my purposes, I think I got Dylan Beard to win it.
Okay. Yeah. I'm not mad at that. I think. Yeah. I think toss up. I'm going Sasha, but I think Dylan Sasha. I feel the most confident about. But yeah, we'll kind of we'll see how these things play out. But yeah. My name is Anderson from the Final Leg.
And I'm Coach Rob from SCA Track and Field. And thank you for watching this segment from the finish line.
If you want to know what's really going on at the high school and college level, be sure to subscribe to Coach Rob Track and Field.
And if you want more content on the best track and field athletes in the world, be sure to subscribe to the Final Leg.